Welcome to the New School of Marketing podcast, the place for smart, simple strategies that will amplify your business results. Sharing practical tips, insider knowledge, and actionable advice because marketing is something that every business owner can do. Now, let's get started. Introducing your host, Bianca McKenzie, mum, lover of snow sports, camping, horse riding, and in-demand launch strategist and Facebook advertising knowledge bank.
Hello and welcome to the New School of Marketing podcast. I am so excited that you're here and I look forward to teaching you all about marketing and Facebook advertising. So the more I speak to people about Facebook and Instagram ads, the more I realize that there are still so many mysteries around this amazing way to support your business growth. Facebook ads are not rocket science, but I know that many of you are unsure about what it could do for your business, or if you've tried them, you may not have had the results you were hoping for. And that's why I want to share these lessons with you in today's episode. Well, a small disclaimer before we start. When I say Facebook advertising, I mean Facebook and Instagram advertising. Instagram is owned by Facebook and ads are set up and managed from the same Ads Manager dashboard. So I mean Facebook and Instagram ads, but I will say Facebook ads because it's just easier. All right, well, let's start my lessons with you. Number one, and I really think this is the most important one, is that Facebook ads amplify. It's such an important lesson for anyone who's considering Facebook ads for their business. Facebook ads amplify, and I really cannot say this often enough. And what I mean by this is that Facebook ads amplify what is already happening in your business. So if you're already making sales, Facebook ads can amplify this. If you are not making sales organically after driving traffic to your offer, you don't want to be spending money on Facebook ads because all this will do is amplify your zero sales and you'll be wasting your money. If you're not already making sales with Facebook ads, you need to look at why this is, and you need to fix your conversion issue before spending money on Facebook ads. There's one but in this lesson, and that is that you can use Facebook ads for a non-converting offer, but you need to treat it as a marketing research exercise to find out what the problem is so that you can fix it. I have spoken about this before, about using Facebook ads for marketing research, and I will put a link to that post in the show notes. So if you are making sales organically already, Facebook ads can help you scale this and increase your reach, your impact, your revenue. So always remember this, Facebook ads amplify. They can't fix the conversion issue, but they can definitely amplify what's already happening. All right, number two, my second lesson or tip. It is not as hard as everyone thinks. And I've decided to mention this myth, as I would call it, because I feel that people who don't understand something automatically label it as difficult. And as with anything unknown, there is a bit of a learning curve. I'm going to make an educated guess that when you started your business, you had to learn everything step by step too. But you did it, and here you are. So Facebook ads are not as hard as everyone thinks. And to explain it in a simple way, we can compare it to newspaper advertising, but with much more transparency. When you place an ad in a newspaper, you have very little control over factors such as how many people will see it, how long your ad will be seen and by who. And it's often limited to a geographic region, and it's hard to track sales as a result of a printed ad. Facebook ads are just like newspaper ads, only you have control over a lot more. Firstly, you get to control who you want to show your ads to and only pay for that. You can choose to show it to a specific geographic region or to multiple countries. You can choose when you want the ad to start and when you want it to finish. And there are a number of options to track results. It is so transparent that you can even see how many people actually saw the ad, clicked on it, added it to their cart, and then purchased it. And I think the reason people think it's hard is because with a newspaper ad, there is a certain unknown factor in terms of results, and people are okay with that. Whereas with Facebook ads, there is so much transparency that it makes people uncomfortable and confused by all the options and all the data. But you know what? I much rather have all the data so that I can have a much more predictable result for the money that I'm spending. Well, the first step to successful Facebook advertising, or literally any advertising for that matter, is to know who your ideal customer is and to map out the journey you would like them to take from finding you to purchasing from you. Most people who are in their early stages of business only think about those two steps, but there is so much more in between. It is really important to map out your client's journey before throwing money at any marketing tactic, including Facebook ads. All right, the next lesson, number 3, it is not as easy as everyone thinks. I know. I just said it's not as hard as everyone thinks, but it's also not as easy as everyone thinks. And as I said in the previous point, most people have a 2-step thought process. They assume that when people find their business, they will purchase what they're selling. And this is so far from the truth, and sadly why so many businesses struggle to take off. Over the past 7 years that I've been doing this, I've seen that it is definitely true that people buy from people. And I have said this before in other episodes, building a relationship with your client is more important than ever because there are a lot of options out there for people. And I bet that your business isn't the only one selling what you sell. So the differentiator is you. You. That's what stands out, or that should be standing out. The power of selling is in the experience that people have with your brand. That's why it's so important to know who you're selling to and mapping out the experience and journey you want someone to have with your brand. And Facebook ads can support this journey at several points, and it can also speed things up a little, which is awesome. So once you know the steps in your client's journey, it becomes much clearer what a Facebook ads can do for your business. You might think that Facebook ads are technical, but you'll see that when you have a clear map of your client's journey, it becomes a lot less technical and a lot more emotional. Facebook Ads Manager, which is the infrastructure to set up your ads, is actually very intuitive and has a lot of default options that will most likely work for you. It's still important to know what each option means and what it can do for your business. So it's not as easy as leaving every setting on the default option. Or when you know what you want to achieve with your ads, it's much easier to figure out what your ad settings should be. So it's not as easy as everyone thinks, but it's also not as hard as everyone thinks. Okay, my next lesson, number 4, is get support. Get support if you don't know what you're doing. If you want to run Facebook ads and you want to give this a go, but you really don't know what you're doing, you'll just be second guessing yourself every step of the way if you don't at least get an hour with an ads manager or invest in a course. Facebook ads are constantly changing, honestly, constantly. It's the bane of my existence. And each time there's a change, you'll be scratching your head and worrying about what you're going to do about it. Trust me, I go there quite regularly. Even I, a Facebook ads manager, I have support. I'm part of a mastermind with other ads managers so that we can support each other when there are changes and we can figure it out together. And it's so much better. I am still sorry that I waited 6 years before I got this support because it is my lifeline. It makes things easier when you do it with someone else. And you know what? Every good athlete and sports person has a coach. So why shouldn't you get some help? So that is my other lesson. Get support. Number 5, Facebook ads don't work without a strategy. And this lesson isn't just applicable to Facebook ads, but it is important for any marketing tactic. Don't ever just dive into something to see if it will work, especially not when you're investing money in it. Facebook ads need a strategy, and that's why it's so important to know your ideal client's journey, because Facebook ads aren't a standalone tactic and it needs to be used in conjunction with other marketing tactics. It should really be part of the bigger picture, especially in a service-based or a digital product business. So some things you might want to consider in your ad strategy are, for example, your business and your ad campaign goals. What will likely convince your client to purchase? And if you've worked with some clients already, you should know this. Creative ideas to lead your clients to purchase. Knowing how your audience spends their free time, so you know where and how to target them. So you really need to know your ideal client. Also, what your client's perception is of the product or the service that you offer. Another thing to consider is how much to spend on each of your target audiences or your campaigns. What selling points you'll emphasize in the ads or on your landing pages. How well ad copy and content performed in tests before you fully launch a campaign. And how effective a campaign was after you launched it. And that comes from measuring results against your goals. So there's a lot of things that you need to think about in your strategy. Like there's goals, there's budgets, there's creative and copy and hooks and what angle you're going to come from, and knowing your ideal client as well. So ad strategy is super important, and strategy is important for any marketing activity that you undertake. So don't just do things without a strategy willy-nilly and then get sad because things don't happen. Think about these things up front. All right, number 6, my last lesson is that it should be supported by other tactics and strategies. As I said, Facebook ads are a part of a bigger picture, and it should be one of the marketing tactics that you use. It's important to mix it with other tactics, such as organic social media on, for example, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, or wherever your audience hangs out. It's also important to blend Facebook ads with strategies and tactics over which you have more control and ownership, such as a website, landing pages, email marketing. And I'm not going to go into email marketing and the importance of it because I mention it just about every episode. Just know that email marketing is important. Facebook ads really work best when they are part of a marketing ecosystem. So people need multiple touch points with your brand. And I've said this before too, 7 to 12 touch points. And Facebook ads can be one of those touch points. Other touch points could be organic social media, a podcast, a blog, a YouTube channel, public speaking, etc. So think of where your ideal client spends their time online as well as offline, and then find ways to market your business in those spaces. All right, well, those are my tips. I'll do a really quick recap. Number 1, Facebook ads amplify. If there is only one takeaway from what I share in this episode, let it be this one. So important. Number 2, it is not as hard as everyone thinks. Number 3, it is not as easy as everyone thinks. Number 4, get support. And I mean this for any part of your business. Number 5, Facebook ads don't work without a strategy. Any marketing doesn't work without a strategy. Number 6, it should be supported by other strategies and tactics. So it's not a standalone thing. It needs to be supported by other activities in your business. So now that you know this, what is the first thing you're going to take action on? I would love to know if you'll give Facebook ad a try. And if you need any help, head on over to my websites or my socials. Feel free to DM me and get in touch. I'd be happy to help you get started. Well, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the New School of Marketing podcast. I hope it was helpful, and I can't wait to share more marketing tips with you next week. If you're ready to take your business to the next level with Facebook and Instagram advertising, make sure you visit newschoolofmarketing.com to download practical, free resources, plus subscribe to the podcast and never miss an episode. I can't wait to go on this journey with you. Until next time, take care and market your business every day.